Stay thirsty, my friend.
Stay thirsty.
Cheers.
Cheers. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael Bergio, joined with Mark Novak for episode 263, Sold Out Sucker. Welcome.
Sold out. How are you?
Good.
In the raw.
Together.
Hey, guys, you know what's massive out there at the moment? I just leave it where it was, dude.
Yeah.
And I'll show you. It'll come up. Comments will come up in your
That's
top
all right.
right.
I got it.
On the top right there.
Yep.
Hey, just wanted to say, guys, sold out sucker. Have you noticed the data out there of everything that's being sold out? It's going absolutely bananas. Car sales was sitting at about 230,000 cars. Now it's sitting at about 130,000 cars. There's 100,000 less cars for sale. What's that going to do for car prices? If you've been buying anything, caravans, trailers, dirt bikes,
jet skis,
anything
suits.
like that, suits. If you've been buying women's clothing, Amazon, eBay, like any of the online consumption, it is selling and selling fast. Harry Triguboff, what do you say?
Yeah, there was a great interview with Harry Triguboff on Sky News. I can post the link in. And he made a couple of really, really good points. And a big point was he doesn't believe that the working from home will continue, like much past the pandemic. I know a lot of people are saying, well, now we're working from home. This is a trend that will stay in. He's a strong believer that he doesn't believe it will. He believes that a lot of people need to be in that work environment, need to collaborate, talk, but also the chain reaction of when you're in that business park, you got the cafes below and the add-on effect of being in that environment.
And you know what? Harry's the probably one of the most successful businessmen in Australia, and as a result, I always like to listen because he's got his own money invested.
Yeah.
So often when you hear it from a politician or obviously he's going to have a bias towards property.
Yep. Yes.
Like that's his chosen profession. But I think it was really interesting saying everyone's got to get back to work.
Yep.
Because I think a byproduct with production being with stock low, importing has something to do with that. Production domestically has something to do with that. So actually, that workforce is truly not at the output of what they were, I think also contributes to low stock. Now, if we take Northern Beaches as a part of Sydney in Australia, Northern Beaches has about 100,000 homes and about 250,000, 80,000 people. If we just take our little area and give you some numbers on that for property, I think when we're talking about sold out, sorry you missed it, or sucker, whatever we said on our heading, what were the numbers you saw, Michael, on your iPhone? You were saying that with stock level sales, like how are they on? Have you got that available to check it out?
So rental figures in the rental properties available for lease, Northern Beaches, is down about 50%. I believe in May this year it was 1,057 available for lease houses and apartments, and it's down to about 498, which.
So it's pretty interesting what we do. Michael, give you credit for this one. Michael's always chosen to run these numbers. We actually do a snapshot of our community data, and we actually snapshot it on a weekly basis, and we've been running that for about 72 months now. So it's interesting seeing year on year when you're looking at rental properties. This time last year we were. What was the number? 1,000.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up so people can have a look. I'll share the screen.
How
because
are you going to do that?
Look at this, because I think if you're an agent out there, you should be tracking this data because it gives you a really good snapshot of where your area is in the current marketplace. So where is it? Share screen. Look at this.
Share screen.
Look at this.
Share screen.
Okay.
Fancy today. Okay, so guys, again, if you've just tuned in, we're talking about sold out. Sorry, I'm sure if you're buying stuff at the moment, you're getting the comment from the retailer saying, hey, I'm sorry, guys, it's sold out, don't have enough, can't get our hands on it. And as a result, prices are being pushed up.
Yep.
Profit margins are being pushed up for people that are selling stuff, but they're not potentially doing the volume.
So I'll talk through the market share. So you can see the top here, the red is residential, the blue is commercial.
Yeah.
So this goes back to 2016, 20th of April is when I started. And we got for sale properties, Novak for sale. So for sales, everybody, for lease, and then Novak. So let's go back to 2016, every week, tracking.
Okay, so let's have a look at for rent.
For rent is the bottom right as of yesterday, the 21st.
Wow.
478 properties for lease.
So, Michael, that's about 12 weeks. Over about 12 weeks, we've halved the amount of stock. Almost.
Yep, because then you go back.
Weeks. So at the end of the day, you're going to be renting your property out for more. As a tenant, you're going to be paying more if there's less available stock out there.
100%. And then the sales has been quite on par, 738, now 734. So quite even. And I find we're probably seeing that in the marketplace with pricing as well.
Same.
We said on the show last week, without even really looking at the figures, that we've seen rental prices come back a bit.
Yep.
So that's strong. Commercial.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Commercial. So commercial rentals, I find commercial rentals interesting because it's a good barometer of business.
Yep.
Are businesses leaving the Northern Beaches? Are they shutting down? Are they coming to the Northern Beaches? What are you seeing?
So we're seeing 759, and there was 700. There was just over 800. So fairly on par. But that's sort of showing not much movement, and same on the sales as well.
So it's probably around 7%. Over
What's
year
that?
or 12 weeks?
12 weeks.
Okay. So last 12 weeks, stocks dried up a little bit to the tune of about, I think we noticed there about 7 or 8%. It's dried up. We're definitely seeing that with leasing. It's gone bananas.
Definitely.
What about sales?
Sales about 10%, 12%. It was 150 for sale, and now it's sitting about 135.
All right, enough data, but I think you got an idea of what's
point.
happening out there. And again, I'll say it: there's 100,000 properties on the Northern Beaches, so we are a good little barometer of what's happening in Sydney. When you look at that mass scale of numbers, and it is interesting stuff.
It is, and a big one that Harry said as well was just continuing building throughout and pivoting. I liked and adapting. I think a lot of people, they sort of it's like their feet stuck in mud. They don't change. They don't adapt. On Harry's scale, he was going to build a service department building, more catering towards having immigration tourism.
Yep.
But at the moment with closed borders, that's not happening. So he's going to build normal residential building because he understands he's got to get people working. The construction still has to happen, but you don't want to have an empty building. So adapt to what's working. He did say people are still buying, just as many buyers out there, but they just can't afford to pay what they used to pay.
And you know what I loved? And again, Harry Triguboff is one of Australia's most successful business people in business for over 50, 60, 70 years.
Born in China.
Born in China.
I didn't know that.
G'day, Philip. How are you? Carolyn, g'day. Working from home. Yeah, LOL. Morning, Amal. Philip, businesses are suffering due to home work. It is. Now, what was interesting, and we're going to put the link in for Harry Triguboff's comments. Michael, chuck that in now. Thanks, bud. But what I think was really interesting was there's no one actually encouraging people to go back to work.
Yeah.
so it's all this, yes, it's a recovery. I think you can say that we're recovering from probably the worst of where it was. But this is a guy that's sitting there on camera and saying everybody must go back to work. And probably the most logical answer, if you do want to get yourself out of financial trouble, which banks are saying that we potentially are, using the word recession and stuff like that, like we've got to get back to work.
Correct.
We've got to work hard.
It's not going to come from the government, the help. You've got to be safe, the medical, but we've got to work, we've got to produce, we've got to buy, we've got to sell. That's the only way out of it.
And then look at the stock.
Yes.
Stock levels are low. You know, like guys and girls, tell me what stock levels you're seeing as low. If you can type it on your screen now, that would really help us. But, you know, I can tell you every single thing we go to purchase. Look, thank God I think groceries I think are fairly reasonable. But everything that you go out there to purchase, stock levels are low. Now, if we're not working hard and production is low and demand is high, that pushes prices up.
Correct. And you need strong production. And you don't want just you don't want to see low stock because we've got low production, because then the unemployment goes up and then there's a lot more benefits out of that. But the big point he was making was we've got to work out of it. We've got to grow our economy. That's our way forward as well. Like, yes, you got the health side of things, but put it this way, look at other countries that don't have that production. They can't afford to worry about the health. They don't have because Harry was like, we're handling the medical side, the technology, it's great.
Yes.
But we can't forget the economic side, because to be honest, the economic side pays for the medical side.
Yeah.
You know, so
but why aren't the politicians saying, everyone, it's time to work hard? Are they scared to say that?
Yeah, I think our society is a pretty hard-working society, multicultural.
Can you throw Harry's link up?
Yep, it's in there.
Just can you show it on the bottom of the screen? Just press show. So, guys and girls, on here, we've just thrown this link up. It's a Facebook link to, I think it's Channel 7, Channel 9.
Yep.
Did an interview with Harry Triguboff. And it's
a good interview, 10 minutes, covers a bit.
Yeah.
He's on the ball, eh?
I got a soft spot for the guy. Look, fortunately, we do a nice amount of business together with these guys. We may be biased.
Yeah, they gave us the reward, so we definitely are biased.
Agent of the year last year. New agent of the year last year. But Meriton agent of the year.
Yes.
But I do have to say that he's a man that has weathered all types of storms.
Yes.
He's weathered war. He's weathered recession. He's weathered GFCs. And he tends to always weather it very strong.
Yep.
And he's the only guy that I've heard say, ladies and gentlemen, get back to work.
It's almost like it's an unpopular view because people are enjoying sitting at home doing nothing. You know, like I think a lot of people...
We like to act like we don't enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. People act, yes.
We like to act like, you know, working from home, but at the end of the day, like, how good is it? You know, that you get to, your kids are there, your work is there, your fridge is full, you're in your chosen home in your chosen country, healthy. Yes. Generally, most people are healthy. It's a good life, but production must come back, bring stock levels back up. Yep. I know he's always having a wind up about him building more apartments, but at the end of the
day, it always has that spin. We've got to build more, reduce regulation. Let's build more. But you got to keep in mind, yes, he makes money. Let's go. He's biased because he makes money, but so do so many other people make money when there is that production and building. Like you've got the plumbers, you've got the contractors. It has the big chain reaction.
I'd rather him make the money because I know that it's a standardized product that you're going to get. You know, it's a bit like, you know, I don't know whether you buy something from Freedom Furniture or Aldi, right?
Yep.
You just know there's a standard there that's going to be. Correct. If you buy something from a supermarket, you know it's not an expired product.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Amel, I reckon stock in the Hills District would be down 25-30%. That's big. Philip, we've had a few fella schemes here which helped. So is that would be your job saver, like pay packets, I would imagine.
Right.
Some suburbs more compared to same time last year. Wow. Imagine, and that's stock levels, isn't it? And that'd be big, down 40%. That'd definitely put the pressure up.
It's interesting, guys, but I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Yeah,
it's a wrap.
Stock levels, guys and girls, stock levels are low. Stuff is getting sold out. You are paying more for it. It's time to get back to work. Respectfully, I think we've handled the medical side of things well as a country. I think respectfully, nobody's actually telling the country to get back to work except for Harry Triguboff, and I'll back that.
Yes, perfect. And we'll be back tomorrow morning as well at 7:45.
Love you.
Thank you all. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.